Percy was soon mended, but one morning Thomas woke feeling ill. The fat controller sent him to the big station to see if he could be mended there, but it was no use. "Edward must take you to the works," the fat controller told him. "Well, I want you to help Percy and Toby while Thomas is ill," the fat controller said to Duck. "Donald and Douglas will do your work until Thomas is well enough to come back." Duck was delighted. He knew Percy already, and it wasn't long before he had made friends with Toby, Terence, and Bertie. Percy, who was still cross with Thomas over the coal dusting incident, was glad to have someone new to talk to. Even Annie and Clarabelle were impressed. "Such nice manners," they told each other. "It's really a pleasure to go out with him." They soon made Duck welcome, and he laughed when they told him how Thomas once left the guard behind at the junction. When Thomas came back, Annie and Clarabelle told him how well Duck had managed. Though Thomas was jealous at first, he was so pleased to be home that he soon forgot all about it. But he didn't forget the affair with the coal. Percy was careful to keep out of his way. The works had left Thomas's handbrake very stiff. It made his brakes seem as if they were on, when in fact they were not. And Thomas's driver and fireman soon learned to be extra careful. But one day, Thomas's fireman was ill, and a relief man took his place. At the junction, Thomas ran around Annie and Clarabelle, while His driver shouted to the station master. The fireman fastened the coupling. The driver had told the relief fireman about Thomas's brakes, but he had forgotten. When he was finished with the coupling, he joined the driver and the station master at the platform. Thomas shimmered happily. In the distance, Henry appeared. Not long now, thought Thomas. At that moment, Thomas felt his wheels begun to move. He tried to stop, but he couldn't without his driver and fireman. He tried to whistle a warning, but he couldn't do that either. The guard shouted from the platform, but it was no good. The guard, driver, and fireman were all stranded, and the passengers were left on the platform staring. Thomas and Clarabelle gathered speed out of the station. The empty coaches shrieked as they rounded the curve. But Thomas, with plenty of steam, kept on going. The signalman at the junction soon realized what had happened and sent a message along the line. An inspector prepared to stop the Runaway at the station near the airfield, where Harold the helicopter stood ready in case of emergency. But Thomas was still going much too fast. Quickly, the inspector climbed aboard Harold and took off. We must get there in time. I must, he whirled anxiously. Below, Thomas was tiring. I need to stop. Shh, shh, shh. I need to stop. Shh, shh, shh. He panted wearily. Annie and Clarabelle held back as they went uphill. as they neared the station. Thomas saw Harold land, and the inspector ran towards the platform where he stood waiting. This time, Thomas entered the station slowly enough for the inspector to act. Running besides the train, he judged his moment, jumped and stumbled into Thomas's cab. Then he put the brake hard on. With a sigh of relief, Thomas stopped. The inspector mopped his brow. "Pah," he remarked. Wearily, Thomas agreed with him. He agreed with him